Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am RavenRoyal and I'm a sophomore at Marymount, California University. I'm currently about to this semester earn my associate's degree with a concentration in theater, so yay. Today I thought I would talk about how I make money here in college, because I feel like this isn't really talked about as much. And when I say it's not talked about as much, I'm saying the job that I do is not talked about as much. And yeah, so let's just get into it. So the way I make money, or shmoney, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? My fake Cardi B impression. Basically, the way I make money in college is by babysitting. I make, on average, it can be high and low sometimes. I can make between $100 to $300 a week. Alright, and I'm gonna explain these things. I'm basically gonna walk you through like what to do to get a babysitting job, essentially, because I've been doing it since high school, but once I came over to California, I started doing it more, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so great, and it's really personal. I like kids. If you don't like kids, this may not be the job for you, but if you do like kids, this is the job for you, because it's great. It's great. I love it so much. So step number one is basically getting a care job, because there's so many ways to get one. You can get one through your school. Usually schools have like an internship / job opportunity, you know, at campus, where they can provide you with jobs and internships. And I've seen some, at least at my school, that have required like nannying and housekeeping. The only reason why I just didn't do it is because, I mean, it was fine, but I found better results on here for me, so I just stuck to that. Yeah, and I wouldn't have to go through the school or anything, because sometimes it's kind of a hassle. So for me, I do care.com and I do SirCity, but not really so much SirCity anymore. Like, I don't answer any of my SirCities because I feel like care.com is a lot more reliable. And this is not sponsored. I just have a care.com profile, and that's kind of where I get all of my jobs from, so currently. So anyway, I will show you my care.com I will show you my care.com profile kind of a little bit. Here it is. It's on my iPad, so hopefully you guys can kind of see it. But basically, I have, not to brag, 4.5 stars. I've had a few people review, and yeah, and I just use the regular, I don't use the pro or anything. I don't buy the pro. The pro could help you if you don't mind paying the money, but like usually the parents pay for the background check, and I'm good with that too, because I'm like, I'm not gonna pay. You don't know you're gonna get the job. There's no guarantee. So yeah, so I use care.com and I get like awesome reviews. People are very nice. Like one of my reviews is like, oh, Raven's very sweet and willing to help with almost everything. Pretty much, yeah. I pretty much help with almost everything. Yeah, absolutely thrilled with her. She completely understood my family's needs, so happy to have found a keeper. I will definitely use her over and over again. Like, you know, and I've seen some profiles with like bad reviews, but sometimes there are misunderstandings, and that's just like a whole other thing, but yeah. So they're gonna ask you, there's a lot to building your profile, because essentially you're kind of making like a little mini business. Like you're like a freelancer, really. So what you're gonna do is you have to set like what kind of employer, first you have to set what kind of employment you'd like. So whether it be part-time, full-time, or like seasonal, occasionally, which occasionally would just be like drop a dime. If you're available and they need you at this time, then like you just say yes. I'm full-time, which it really shouldn't be because I'm in college, but like I just take whatever you give me that can withstand my time schedule when I do not have class. So right now, like usually during this time, I just don't happen to have to work today. I would be working after school, because I try to set up my schedule for school that I'm basically done by like 1 with all my classes. But if you're not like a morning person, then you like having all your classes at night, this may be a little hard for you. You may have to get kids who are younger, because they're probably not going to be in school, you know, then it could work out more in your favor. But I do think after school is like a really great time, and also before school, but I don't really do before school because it's kind of impossible for me. It had to be like at 6 a.m. to about 7:30, and it's just not really worth it. All right, so I know I was saying step 1 and step 2, but I'm just gonna go down the list of kind of things I want to talk about, because with babysitting, because I'm like, oh, there's no more step 1, step 2. You basically just make a thing on care.com or whichever thing you'd like to use, and getting a job, and that's pretty much it. Like, there's nothing else to really say. I'm gonna do a separate video on tips for childcare, like, you know, that I've kind of collected, because I've had quite a lot of experience with childcare, but I don't think it pertains really to this video, because I'm talking about getting a job. I'm talking about getting a job, getting that money, you know what I'm saying? But like the actual essentials of taking care of a child, or maybe changing a diaper. You know, like I've changed diapers. I actually, yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna, okay. So things just to look out for. Transportation. There's so many ways to get around this. You do not, I repeat, you do not need to have a car to do babysitting, okay? Like, when they say, like when, you know, maybe you're on care.com and you're like, oh, this job looks great for me, let me apply, but it says, please have your own car. Unless the job requires you to take the kids from point A to B, usually parents are pretty loose with it. They don't really mind if you like want to Uber to their house, because what they're worried about is you have a way to get there, you know? That's really what they're trying to figure out, because this is my first semester here. I did not have my car, and I got my car my like 2nd semester and on. And I did babysitting where I basically Uber. So I Ubered to, and it was only 1 client though. Right now I have more clients, because I mean, yeah, when you do have a car, there's more things you could do, but if you don't have a car, you can still do it too and make that money. And sometimes they will even pick you up and drop you off at their house or whatever, you know, like all right. So there's so many ways around it. I've had friends who like had, you know, I've had some of when my car broke down, like some of my clients even offered to take me home. Like, that's just so nice. So there's so many things you could do to get around that issue, because I was really worried about that at first. When I first started, I was like, I don't have a car, and they're like, you know, we don't really need you to have a car. So I was just doing date night. I wasn't picking up the kids or anything, they're like, we don't need you to have a car. We just know that you have a way to get to and from, you know? And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. All right. So last thing I'm going to talk about is basically just like the importance of babysitting, because although it's like an easy job, which is great, it's like not that hard. You just keep in mind you're still responsible for a life. Like, that's really important, and I advise that you have CPR training. If not, well, yeah, CPR training first. If first aid can actually wait, it's not that serious, I believe, but I think CPR training is like the one you should get first for sure. And then there are babysitting classes you can take. I believe it's through Red Cross. I did not take a babysitting class, so I don't know about that, but I've heard things about it. And you know, especially if you're not even going to college, maybe you're just trying to make like a steady job, because if you're not in college, I've had my best friend, she did that for a solid 2 years, where she just nannied, and she made so much money, like, and she paid rent and stuff too. Like, she wasn't like me, you know, I don't pay rent. I just, you know, the money that I make, I either save it, I use it for gas, and or I use it for things like food, groceries, because, you know, for here. So yeah, there's like so many ways you can just make money, good amount of money off of babysitting. Last and final thing, I keep saying things, but the thing about how much money you make, you will make more money if you put in more hours, if that makes sense. So for example, what was the week? Okay, so there was a week where I worked a lot. I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday. So I made like $150 because my rate is from $10 to $20 an hour. And I kind of, here in California, I kind of go for where the minimum wage is, because in Vegas, the minimum wage is still at $8.25, I believe. So like $10 doesn't make sense. But in California and LA, it's kind of like $12. I think the minimum wage is $15. So like, I kind of bounce off that. And sometimes parents will set their own rates, so that's a different story. But like, if you have someone come saying, look, I want you to sit my child, how much is your rate? Be honest, okay? Like, if you want it to be $12, say it's $12, and you need to have your reasons. I don't necessarily think that experience has that much to do with like your rate. Some people are saying, okay, well, if you have more experience, your rate should be higher. Like, or that's a good excuse to have your rate be higher. But I mean, it's really about affordability for the family as well. And hours add up. If you're getting paid $15 an hour, 4 hours, it's $60, you know, like. So that's something to keep in mind when someone asks you that. Also, if you're driving a child to school or something that involves driving them somewhere, the parents need to give you at the end of the day, when they pay you gas money. That's like I regretted doing that. This is something I didn't really tell the parents until like I was like, oh, why didn't I say that? Yeah, like, because your gas isn't free, obviously, you know. Like, I know I can't remember what it is. Usually it depends on where we go, but $5 is like, that's probably enough to suffice, you know, for gas, depending on how much you're taking the kid though. Like, I took the kid to and from school once. It wasn't even anything, so $5-10 sufficed for me, but gotta figure that out. Last thing, so what I was saying before, yeah, I made $150 that week. I've had weeks where I make $25, you know, because it just depends on the needing, who needs you at that time. And that's why I kind of like having a lot of families, because then I'm kind of constantly always needed. I think I always lose count, but I want to say I have 5 families, current clients that I do. Yeah. And my school schedule, I just can't work Tuesdays and Thursday nights because I have classes on those nights, unfortunately. I tried to get out of it, but I couldn't, but can't do anything about that. So, but yeah, basically I make myself available to work all the other days. And it just works out for me to benefit me in a way, so. But yeah, anyway, if you guys have any other questions about childcare, at bigcare.com, Sir City, babysitting, be sure to ask me in the comments down below. And also, if you have any questions about like, how do I do this with a child, or how do I do this with a child, you know, things like how to deal with a tantrum. There are certain words I can't pronounce. Anyway, but yeah, if you have any of those questions, go ahead and comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.